Welcome back. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Dirtworks TV. So today in this video, we're going to be going over how and what you need to get started with the skid steer / excavation business. We're going to be going over a bunch of the equipment that you're going to need and some of the costs just to get into the industry. You'd be surprised you can get into this game with pretty low financials. So the first thing on the list that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to set up an LLC or S-Corp or whatever entity works best for your business. You're going to want to do your research. You're going to get all the correct licensing, contractor's license, depending on what state you're in. Michigan's got a lot more lax laws, so like we don't have as strict as regulation as like California. But you're going to want to look up for your local ordinances and guidelines to get your business set up correctly. And then once you do all that and come up with a good name, you're going to want to eat, sleep, and wear that business. When I say wear, logos and everything on all your vehicles, stickers, whatever you can to push that name out there, you're going to want to do that. When you're first starting out, like I like to live by the saying, hustle hard, there's no such thing as luck. When I first started out, I was putting in crazy hours just trying to expand, and I mean, it works. Little by little, you'll see your business progress. Like I started out with just truck, trailer, and a skid steer, and now we have big wheel loaders, multiple skid steers, mini excavators, a big shop, a yard where we sell all of our own materials and stuff, and we've just increased in the amount of work that we're capable of doing. We do a lot of underground excavation now. We do a ton of hardscaping, landscaping, land clearing, demolition, you name it. We've kind of worked our way into a little bit of everything. So if you're just starting out and like you have limited capital to get started, what you're going to want to kind of like do is look for the basic necessities that you can get by with. What I mean by that is you're definitely going to want at least 3/4 ton or a 1 ton pickup truck. I currently have a 1 ton F350 truck and a tri-axle gooseneck dump trailer. So it's 3 axles rated for 21,000 pounds. And I have that one mainly I use a lot because I can put my mini excavator in there, skid steer. I can haul like 8 or 9 tons of material in it. It's pretty heavy duty, but like if you want something a little bit smaller, you can get by with the, like maybe a 14,000 pound dump trailer. That would work too. But you're definitely minimum you want truck, trailer, and a skid steer. You can get by with just that. Like there's a ton of work that you can do with just that amount of options. Like if you want to extend it a little bit, maybe for the skid steer, get like a log grapple. That way, if you're doing like a bunch of clearing and stuff with trees, you can stack everything efficiently and take care of all that stuff. So when it goes along with like the skid steer, I would definitely recommend getting track skid steer versus wheels. Wheels are really good if you're using like a hard surface on concrete or asphalt, something like that. But if you're trying to do any grading or anything like that, wheeled skid steers are just a pain in the butt, and their lifting capacity isn't anywhere near what the tracked one is. So definitely would recommend going with the track machine. And that's really, I mean, you can get into this game for, you could buy a truck for like 15 to 20,000 if you just get a nice decent work truck diesel. You can get a decent used track skid steer for like 25, maybe 30 grand, and then you could pick up a decent used dump trailer for like 10. So I mean, you could be all in like 60 grand will get you into the game. I mean, yeah, that sounds like a lot of money, but like when you really start pushing out some work, I mean, you can make 60 grand in a couple of months easy. Just in the beginning. I mean, sky's the limit. It just all matters like what kind of like person you are, how much you can market it, who you know, what kind of connections you have, and how bad you want it. I mean, it really just comes down to that. Like a lot of the jobs you can start off doing, like you could see in a bunch of these clips that we're posting, you could do driveways, like resurfacing gravel driveways, if you live in any sort of rural area, 70% of the driveways are all some sort of crushed material, and they're always all tore up, especially like if you live in like a state where you get snow and stuff. I mean, those driveways just get ruined, especially if they're using like just some sort of crushed gravel that usually typically has a lot of erosion and washes away and stuff. So driveways is an easy job source to get into that you can make really good money. I mean, for a minimum, what I always do, even if it was say a 10 by 20 driveway, I mean, just to get me to load up my equipment and haul in one load of material, I mean, that's a minimum of $1,500. So that'll take you like 3 hours, depending on how close you are and how close you're hauling the materials and all that stuff. I mean, that's pretty good money for 3-4 hours worth of work. But on the bigger driveways, I mean, I've done driveways and private drives that are up 25-30 grand I've charged. So I mean, it's super easy too. I mean, you're just grading everything, sloping, usually put a nice crown on it so all the water drains off correctly. And the materials you could use, like by us, we used a lot of recycled asphalt, crushed concrete, and crushed natural stone. But my go-to always is the crushed asphalt. It packs the best and has the least amount of erosion and washouts, and when it rains it doesn't get muddy like crushed concrete and stuff. It packs a lot tighter and lasts a lot longer. That's usually my go-to product, is crushed asphalt for doing driveways. It works freaking great. And what I always did, like I started like all the social medias, Instagram, Facebook. I don't have a TikTok, but a lot of people do really well on TikTok, Snapchat. Have all those things and just continuously market yourself, let people know what you do, and just expand. Like if there's stuff that you're getting into that like you're not really familiar with, don't be afraid to kind of do your research and still bid the job. Like you don't want to turn away stuff just because you're nervous about doing the job. If you're pretty savvy and can get things done, like you'll figure it out. Like that's pretty much what I've done since day one. I mean, if I wouldn't have took a lot of opportunities for things that I wasn't super well versed in, I would have missed out on a ton of opportunities. So don't be afraid to take on a little bit more than you think you can do. And so that's one of the jobs you could do. You could do brush hogging. You can do just simple grading for people that like want their yard leveled. You could do new yard installs, especially with the markets that we're living in with the home prices and stuff. You're seeing a lot more new home builds, so there's a ton of like market there, because a lot of them home builders just want somebody to come in and like those developments and just bang out all the grading in the yards and install like a fresh layer of topsoil and get in and get out of there. There's tons of work there for it. And then you could do like snow plowing with it, like snow removal. You can do light demo. You can do lane clearing, material deliveries. Like if you have that dump trailer, like what I do sometimes, like just to keep it cruising, like I'll get people that'll message me and stuff on Facebook that will want just like 12 yards of like crushed asphalt dumped in their driveway. And so I'll haul the material for them. I'll upcharge the material a little bit, and then I'll also add in like a hauling fee, so that way it makes it worth my while. And I mean, within an hour, you can make like $500-600 just delivering material or hauling away brush for people. That's, opportunities are endless. You just have to be willing to think outside the box and be willing to push yourself and work hard. The biggest thing is you'll be in control of your own future. Once you make that leap to stop working for somebody else, work for yourself, there's no better sense of self-satisfaction than creating your own future and having it be in your hands. Yeah, you get a little bit more headache, but like if you stay just like an independent contractor style where you don't have any employees, like there's easily situations where you could push $400,000 or $500,000 a year if you're really getting after it. I mean, the work's there, the money's there. I've seen it since the beginning. I've just stayed consistent on pushing. Like in the very beginning couple of years, like I'm talking 6-7 days a week. I was working crazy hours. Like, you got to keep up on your maintenance, oil changes, all the servicing of all your equipment and stuff, and it's just a lot of work, but it's definitely doable. But the big thing is, like, don't be afraid that you're going to run out of work. Like, if you just keep pushing and hammering it every day on social media, like, you'll keep grabbing the attention of people that will help you grow your business. Surround yourself with other business owners. Get with other contractors in the industry. Like, a lot of times, like, I'd get with, like, a bunch of the concrete guys. A lot of them don't have their own machines, so I'd go in and do, like, tear outs of all the driveways or parking lots for them before they get there, prep everything, haul the material away, and then they'd come in and just do the concrete. Like, the opportunities are endless with this stuff. Another thing you want to think about is, like, depending on where you live, like, just make sure to keep that equipment working all year round as much as you can. I've even seen guys where if, like, they got slow on work, they started renting their equipment out. Like, they'd rent their trailer, they'd rent the skid steer and stuff. And I mean, that way it's machines are always paying for themselves and you're keeping the revenue turning. But that's just a quick insight of how to get in the industry, and I'll show you a bunch of videos, like I said, along the lines of, like, a bunch of the work that you can do with just one machine and an operator.